We're going to examine HyFlex Delivery in higher education to see what it offers, how it might be effectively implemented, as well as some of its potential implications. While perhaps not yet widespread, HyFlex Delivery has actually been offered since 2006. It combines in-person, online synchronous, and asynchronous learning options into a single course, where students can choose how to participate on a lesson-by-lesson basis. It requires robust technology and is designed to maximize flexibility and student choice. HyFlex Delivery rests on four key principles: student control, which is the most important; equivalence, that learning is of similar caliber across deliveries; reusability, activities are shared when possible across modalities; and accessibility, learners can access instruction and resources wherever and whenever. BD notes that achieving 100% accessibility has proven to be the biggest challenge so far. In early 2021, HyFlex is drawing attention from colleges and universities. Let's examine why. I'll speak to my own professional context, but much of this applies broadly. The COVID-19 global pandemic drove an enormous, massive shift to remote learning. Now, in spring 2021, schools are still trying to determine how and when to best resume more normal delivery. Many adult learners have to balance academic demands with other life responsibilities and require flexibility in their learning paths. At the same time, many other students and faculty are anxious for in-person learning to return. HyFlex attempts to reconcile many of these competing trends. Before we dive deeper into HyFlex, please pause this video and take a moment to use this link to share your initial reaction to the HyFlex concept, and then return to the video and resume playing. You can also find the link in this video description. I'd like to take a closer look at the potential of HyFlex within my own professional environment. I'm a faculty member in the Computer Studies department at an Ontario college where I teach across 3 programs. The pandemic has had a notable effect on overall enrollment as the school has opted to suspend 7 current programs until at least 2023 due to declining student numbers. One of my own 3 programs is reporting a significant drop in first-year applications for the fall 2021 semester. Administration is asking faculty to examine courses that might either remain online or move to HyFlex Delivery. In the latter case, professional development is available from the school's Center for Teaching and Learning. HyFlex is one possible response to some of these challenges and trends. Let's examine what educational change theory tells us about the potential introduction of HyFlex Delivery. A number of theorists, including Hargraves, Butler, Shellard, and McNeil, and Stoll, point to the need to include faculty in any successful change initiative. Widespread leadership and the development of collaborative communities are needed to increase buy-in and help ensure new methods actually meet student needs. Observers such as McAfee and Collins suggest traditional post-secondary delivery is no longer meeting the needs of many learners. While HyFlex may offer some of the additional flexibility that McAfee recommends, Collins would likely view it differently. He contends that broadening access actually devalues higher education credentials. Since many programs, including some of my own, are facing enrollment challenges due to COVID-19, I would argue that broadening access to help keep program budgets sustainable is worthwhile. The 2020 Teaching and Learning Horizon report also touches on some of the issues relevant to HyFlex Delivery. The report notes that schools are facing increased demand for more flexible delivery. I suggest that HyFlex is one viable method to help meet this need. The authors also advocate for additional information technology training, as well as more collaborative analysis about the merits and drawbacks of specific tech tools. This complements other researchers' view that successful HyFlex delivery requires more professional development regarding technology use. While HyFlex has primarily been piloted at a relatively small scale, most often within a single class or course, some early studies have indicated high levels of student satisfaction, over 2/3 in this sample of small studies. Other research on HyFlex in practice has thus far consistently found this model confers no overall negative outcomes on student learning. Faculty feedback in a number of studies in the United States have reinforced some of the recommendations about educational change initiatives we noted earlier. Recent research by both McMurtry and Busta have emphasized the importance of faculty input and collaboration in implementing HyFlex. The California study by Rhodes noted that faculty require additional time and effort, and Gannon corroborates Beatty's view that accessibility is the most significant challenge to delivering HyFlex well. We've touched broadly on some of the pitfalls of HyFlex delivery, but let's look at some of these a bit more closely. Schools considering HyFlex need to answer a number of key questions in their efforts to introduce this model. I'd like to examine these in my own work context. Administration is asking interested faculty, especially those who don't teach in summer, such as me, to use the spring as an opportunity for training. The school has also asked program areas to identify particular courses or entire programs that might be a fit. They're not imposing this on anyone. Computer studies programs have been using a bring your own device model for several years now, where we outline minimum hardware and software requirements, so most of our students already have the computers they need. Internet access, however, which is beyond the school's control, is another matter altogether, and it is a challenge for many in rural areas, including some faculty. My school has offered some financial resources to support professional development in this area, and also has a well-respected Center for Teaching and Learning to support faculty, both prior to and during academic semesters. Overall, a lot of the required ingredients appear to be in place. In recent meetings, the biggest question concerned testing, as many faculty felt testing would need to be done on site rather than across modalities. In addition to these initial questions, there's also a longer view to consider. Is student demand for more flexibility temporary or permanent? And if HyFlex does take off, how might this affect schools' abilities to plan the use of physical resources, such as classroom space, parking, and residences, if the on-campus presence of students becomes extremely fluid? And lastly, what does effective testing look like in a HyFlex delivery? Resources used for this narrative inquiry are: I'd love to hear from you. Please visit this brief survey. The link again is also in the video description to weigh in on the conversation. And thanks for watching.